we're going to convert measurement units. Now, we're not talking about going from like metric to customary. So we're not saying, okay, you have 20 meters. How many miles is that? Okay. We're staying within the same measurement units. So let's just do a few as an example. And I want to start with this chart. On your assignments, when you get to level 5, you're going to use this chart. Okay, I'll do an example problem from your assignment. So this says 983 millimeters. 983 millimeters equals blank meters, right? So what are we trying to find? We're trying to figure out what?
Yeah.
Brody?
How many meters, right?
Good, how many meters it is. So, you could do it one of two ways. You could put equals blank meters, like this, or you can write the meters down below. So it's up to you. I like to do it where it's down below. So I'm going to put blank meters. So this is what I'm trying to figure out. Does that make sense? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use this chart to help you figure out, okay, what is the relationship between millimeters and meters? What is the relationship between millimeters and meters? Can someone find that on here for me? What's the relationship between millimeters and meters? Audrey?
0.001.
So 1 millimeter equals 1,000th of a meter. Good. So what's on top, millimeters or meters? Millimeters. So I'm going to start with my millimeters. This says that 1 millimeter is equivalent to 1,000th meter. Now what would I do to finish? What would I do to solve? Once you get to this point, it should be, Lacey? Sure, we can use the strategy we figured out how to do with our cross multiplication and division. So cross multiply, divide. Now I'll just tell you, I'll just do this mentally. 983 times 1,000. How many places behind the decimal is this? This is a decimal power of 10. There's how many places behind the decimal here? 3. So when you multiply by a decimal power, you're going to move the decimal back. It's going to get smaller. Would you agree that this is less than 1? Absolutely. So we move it back 3. 1, 2, 3. If you want to use your calculator to do that, that's fine. But it'd be 983 thousandths meter. Okay, let's do another one from on here. Let's go from, that was millimeters. That was small to big. Let's go big to small. All right, let's go kiloliters to liters. So 130 and 5/10 and 5/10 kiloliters, right? And it says that we want to go to what? We want to go to liters. So I'm going to put liters below it. Do I know what that is? No, so that's what we're trying to find. So that's how you set it up right away. Now I need to make my proportion. So I'm going to put it equal to, okay, what am I going from? I'm going from kiloliters to, so go to your chart. Liters is volume. So what is kiloliters to liters? I see one right there that I could use, or I could use this one. That's liters to kiloliters. This is kiloliters to liters. It doesn't matter which one you use. So let's use this one. So 1 kiloliter is equivalent to what? 1,000 liters. So I have kiloliters on top. Let's keep kiloliters on top. It says 1 kiloliter is how many liters? 1,000. What do you do to solve? Cross multiply, divide. A lot of this will be mental math if you know how to deal with decimal powers and powers of 10. This is a power of 10. This is a decimal power of 10. Can you see the difference? What's the difference? This is a decimal power of 10. What do you notice? Decimal, and it's 001, or so this is 1,000. It could be 100. It's decimal 01 or decimal 1. Notice with powers of 10, it's 1000. So with decimal powers, it goes backwards. But when doing this, when I multiply by 1,000, I just count zeros. How many zeros do I have? 3. This is 1,000, right? What was this? 1 what? 1,000th. How many places back did I move my decimal? 3. So I'm going to multiply by 1,000. How many places forward am I going to move my decimal? 3. So it's going to be 130,500. Again, if you don't have that mental process yet, don't feel like you have to do that mentally. Just use a calculator. 1,000 times that, and you don't even need to divide by 1. Okay, does everybody get how to use this chart to set it up? Okay, I'm going to do an example. Jenna, I'll do an example over here, and we're not going to use the chart. We're just going to do one. So let's go from, you have 528 feet, and I want to go to what? What could we go to? This is customary. We could go from feet to what?
Inches.
We could go to inches. We could go to yards.
Miles.
We don't want to go to meters. That's metric.
Inches.
Miles.
We could go to miles. Okay, let's just go to inches to start. So inches. Now we don't have a chart to tell us. What do we know though? We're going from feet to inches. So I have 1 foot is equivalent to what? 12 inches. That's all you have to do to set your proportion up. Cross, multiply, divide. What would we do? 12 times 528. Okay. So I'd have 5,280 plus 2 times 500 is 1,000 plus 28, 1,056. I just did some math talk there. 6,336 inches. Do you see how I used a proportion to figure that out? Let's see how that would be different. Let's say I have 528 feet. Let's not go to inches this time. Let's go to yards. So equals, what do I put on top? How many feet? What am I putting on bottom?
Yards.
I have feet here and I have yards here. So I would go 1 yard. What would my feet be? What's the ratio between feet and yards? 3. Sure. 3 feet in 1 yard. Cross, multiply, divide. 528 times 1, 528, divided by 3. What is it? 176 yards. Okay, let's do one more. 528 feet. Let's go to
Miles.
miles. Sure. Who knows this one? We want to go from feet to miles. Who knows that relationship between feet and miles? What does 1 mile equal? If you didn't know this, could you look it up?
Yeah.
Do you have a Chromebook? Okay, good. So what's the relationship between feet and miles?
3,000 something.
5,000.
Yep, 5,000 like 8,000.
5,280. Someone do that for me. 1 times 528 is 528. 528 divided by 5,280. You're going to get a decimal. $528 divided by 5,280. Okay, but anyways, you would get that answer. You see how that works? Okay, what if I wanted, last one, and then we're done. What if I wanted to go from, I wanted to go from quarts, or no, let's go gallons. I have 20 gallons, and I want to know how many cups that is. 20 gallons, I don't know how many cups that is. Do you need to know the relationship between 1 gallon and cups? So 1 gallon, and I want to go to cups. What is 1 gallon? 1 gallon equals how many cups? 16. Good. If you didn't know it, look it up on your Chromebook. 16. That's what you're going to put over here. 16 times 160, that'd be 320. Do you see how you use a proportion to convert measurement units? Okay. If you're not 100% on getting it, watch this video again, or you can watch the video on the website. Okay? All right. Thanks, Jenna.